Hey guys, Tara here for F3 Games, and I'm in front of the Xbox One booth right now, as you can see, checking out some of their games. One of the first ones I saw was RYSE, which was one of the big games that was shown off during their press conference. I was really curious to check this out because the trailer that they released a couple years ago for it sort of spun it as a very Kinect-based game, and it seems like they've sort of strayed away from that now. We got a taste of a little bit of the combat in the demo. They showed us basically the same part of the demo that they showed during the press conference. We weren't able to actually go hands-on with it, but they did have the developers there playing it for us. The combat does seem, I want to say, sort of simplified. They described it as mash versus mastery. So if you want to get really good at it, you can, and if you want to button mash, you can absolutely do that too. There's typical, combat in games like this that you can parry, you can deflect with your shield, typical stuff. There does seem to be a heavy emphasis on executions, which sort of come in the form of quick time events, I guess. It seems like they're sort of avoiding that term, but it kind of seems like that's what it is. But it is not necessary to beating the game. You don't have to do any of those quick time events if you want. Apparently it just sort of helps you out, and it gives you health or something. It seems like rather than a really involved and complex fighting game, they're spinning this more as a cinematic experience. Apparently all of the story characters have had motion capture done. They've got a lot of famous actors in there from like Game of Thrones and shows like that. And there's over 100 different specific execution animations. So every time you execute somebody, not every time, but a lot of the time, you're going to be seeing something new that you've never seen before. They also have the SmartGlass companion app for it, which actually has a really cool feature. It lets you it lets you view a nearby enemy and sort of get a preview of what an execution of that person would be like. So you can see like, oh, there's an environmental kill over here. I'm going to go do that, I wonder what that would look like. The Kinect obviously was a huge question about this game. Like I said, it seems like they've sort of strayed away from that. A lot of it's going to be voice control, I think. In combat, he said there are basically 3 routes you can take. You can do entirely controller-based gameplay if you want. You can also use voice commands. So for the parts during the demo, maybe you saw where they had a little caption on the bottom of the screen that said like, capture that catapult or take that catapult or something with like a left bumper button. You can either just press the left bumper if you want. You can also physically yell out what is being said on the screen if you want. Or you can actually, in certain contextual situations, make a motion that sort of implies what you want to do. So like if you are trying to command your troops over there or something, you can actually just like move your arm and they'll go, which is kind of interesting, I think. This definitely seems like a better application of Kinect than what they showed off in that first trailer with a guy looking like he was doing the robot or something. That was awful. It definitely seems to be shaping up better. It's not quite what I expected, but I am curious to see more about this and actually get my hands on it. We're going to have tons more impressions from the show floor today, so make sure you're subscribed.